Would then call the regular City Council meeting for Tuesday, January the 3rd to order. And we have before us the agenda with one addition, and that's under the consent agenda to approve expenses for Deputy City Administrator and Finance Officer to attend a seminar. Your pleasure with the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
please.
may I add an item to the under new business? I would like to just add a conversation about board. At a closed meeting, and it's never. I'll discuss it. I
All right.
make the motion with the.
We have two additions to the agenda then, one under the consent agenda and one under new business for a conversation.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Second by Councillor Briggs. Further discussion? Question on the approval of the agenda with additions.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion is carried, and agenda with additions is approved. Thank you. Go to the approval of minutes, and we have the minutes of the Monday, December 19 regular City Council meeting minutes.
Move on the minutes.
Motion by Councillor Briggs to approve the minutes of December 19. Second the motion to approve the minutes. Discussion. Question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. And minutes for December 19 are approved. Thank you. We have before us the resolution on transfers and accounts payable claims. Under transfers to Fund Number 101, the General Fund, from Fund Number 812, the Lodging Tax Fund, $236.60. We have City of International Falls regular claims, $186,363.73, and we have Airport Commission claims of $630,148.11. Your pleasure with the resolution approving the transfers and payment of claims. Motion by Councillor Briggs to adopt the resolution. Second by Councillor Droba. Discussion?
I have a question,
Please.
just a point of information. I see where we're making a payment of $56,000 to, that's for the land purchase. Is that the final payment, or where are we sitting with?
Almost one during 2016 and now one during
Okay.
2017.
Further questions or discussion with regard to the resolution or the transfer of or payment of claims? Question on
Aye.
Aye.
yes, motion is carried, resolution is adopted, and the transfers and payment of claims are approved. Thank you. Go to the audience. Anyone in the audience that wishes to approach the council at this time? And there is another opportunity at the end of the meeting for audience participation. Thank you. We'll move to the consent agenda, and we have three items under the consent agenda with the addition. First is to approve the 2017 license renewals, and those being the Fun Food Factory for an itinerant restaurant, Leon's Snow and Grass, a snowplow license, and Snickers Concrete, a snowplow license. We have approval to allow necessary expenses for the Street Water Commissioner to attend continuing education and required training. And third, we have approval of the necessary expenses for the Deputy City Administrator and the Finance Officer to attend Public Finance Seminar. Your pleasure with the consent agenda. Motion by Councillor Droba to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second by Councillor Briggs. Question.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion is carried. Consent agenda is approved. Thank you. Move to new business, and we have a resolution approving application for exempt permit for the Borderland Young Professionals to conduct a raffle with the drawing to be held at Leonard's Restaurant on January 27, 2017.
I'll move.
Motion by Councillor Jacksaw to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Second by Councillor Briggs. Discussion on the motion or the resolution. Question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Resolution is adopted. And the exempt permit is approved. Thank you. Item number 2 then is the conversation on board training.
Yeah.
Councillor Droba.
Earlier today, at our organizational meeting, we set appointments for the city from everything from Fire, Civil Service, Library Board, North Cooch Sanitary District, all of the appointments that we have. Earlier in this year, in 2016, we had a issue come up with one of our appointments for one of the boards. And in the discussion, we had kind of decided that we would like to have some board training for these appointments. And I think here we are at the beginning of the year looking at these appointments. I'm just wondering if we have anything in place to try to get some of the information, because these people are representatives of the city and we're putting them on boards, and some of them haven't served in that capacity. Some people don't know Robert's Rules of Order or what their position on the other than being on the board is. And I'm just wondering if we have came up with anything formal to look at for these appointees of the city.
Thank you
Councillor Jackson.
for dogging that, because if it were, I don't think this would have come back. So thank you, Councillor Droba. Yeah, I think that's important. I know there is board training that's provided, used to be provided by Myrna Meadows for nonprofits. And right now, the foundation, the Bremer Foundation, still provides that training, and I think it's pretty.
I don't know if we can send this to a committee to talk to. I don't know if it would be HR or who we could send this to so we can get something for council for in the future. But I wish I would have been at the last meeting, because I would have brought it up then before we're here today. But is this something, where would this be appropriate to send?
I think HR would probably be the appropriate
Into
committee
it.
for it.
Brian and I can look into it and get a solution, right? Find a solution.
I think some of it may be just as simple as having the city administrator do an orientation for some of the commission members. I believe some of those that, such as the housing and redevelopment, I know that they have an executive director that does an orientation for the folks that are on that commission out there. So there's various ones. Library board, the librarian does orientation for the new members on that board. So I think that there are some that do have, but there are some that have not had any orientation or training.
So you're suggesting we should just consider Mr. Anderson for the...
No, I think we could include him
Okay.
to part of that discussion. That's all.
And he might be able to help us also. He might know of someone or...
Thank you.
Anything further under new business?
I'll get there.
Oh, yeah, I have something. I did send our petition that was presented. You weren't here, Harley, last time, but there was a petition of 150 signatures, and I have more now, to ask the elected officials locally to send a letter to the PUC asking that the citizens and businesses of Coochin County be excluded from the EITE rate hike. Since then, I have been to the Rainier City Council, who did send a letter. I have been to the county board, who hesitated. And I have sent a copy of the petition and several comments to Senator Bach and Representative Eklund. Representative Eklund has responded and said that he would be speaking with Senator Bach regarding this issue. So then, when I went to the PUC website, I learned that the deadline for standing up for your constituents is now extended to March 31st. So I went in today and I copied the petition to them. I explained the situation. And I will bring it back to the council. It was a tie vote when you weren't here. And I know that one of the problems in getting support from elected officials, certainly citizens are behind this, but elected officials, has been a concern about communicating with Senator Bach and Representative Eklund. So what I'm giving you notice on is that I will bring this back the end of February, so you'll have ample time to be able to talk to Representative Eklund and Senator Bach to learn what their defense of this law is. I haven't heard one yet, a good one, but, and I've been in communication with them. So I will put this on the agenda at the end of February.
Further under new business. We'll move to reports of boards, committees, and department heads. Deputy City Administrator.
Nothing specific, Mayor.
Thank you. City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, Council, this doesn't involve my position as City Attorney, but I want to report to the Council. Both Sunday and Monday, I'm snowshoeing on the Donahue Trail, and it's absolutely fabulous and spectacular. And the citizens to do so, all over North America. Comes along, I just left from the back of my house, went along the river, and then up there, and then hooked in, going factory property initially, and then onto the property that was a. And I was encouraged because it's gotten a lot of use. Particularly Sunday, before we'd gotten all this extra snow, it was really packed down. You could see where there had been cross-country skiers, any other snowshoe tracks. But I think a lot of people just been hiking, and there hadn't been that much snow, so they had patted it down. Now with all the snow, until it gets some traffic, you're probably going to need skis or snowshoes before you do it. But it's wonderful, and the committee that worked on the Donahue Trail, and I went all the way from my house out to where we've approved to put the parking lot and the sign and have the but there's several places to access the trail. You can access it kind of at the end of Shorewood Drive, where the cul-de-sac stops there, just by going up into the woods, and you'll see the trail there. Or you can come from behind Menards. There's a big long path there, or from out at the golf course, where ultimately most people will access it. It's wonderful, and I think that I know this was a very controversial thing, the city acquiring this land, but I think having it there as a green space and as a recreational thing for the community over the years, it's going to be wonderful. And
for that report.
Thank you. I'll try that out.
Further, City Attorney?
nothing further.
Thank you. Go to department heads. Chief Maston.
Mr. Mayor, for the month of December, instead of November on my report, I apologize. As far as our training for the month, we had our annual, our defensive tactics training. officers, we had Officers Kennedy and Franz attended the Data Master training with the BCA this past month, which is our breath test. Our goal this year to make sure all of our officers are certified in that for to eliminate officers of court or having 2 officers tied up in an arrest. So that's a goal that we're working towards. We had 1 narcotic search warrant this month, which resulted in the apprehension of 3 individuals. Our DARE graduation, which you attended. Also assisted with 1 running event, a reindeer run this. As far as calls for service, pretty much an average month we had 391 calls for service, 108 traffic stops, 26 medical assists. Average month in
Wonderful, thank you. Questions for Chief Maston? Thank you for the good report, and to your officers for keeping us safe through the holiday period. I know Chief Manassa was here, but he is not feeling well, and they saw that he had to leave, so his report is before us with the 3 fire department call-outs, 2 for natural gas leaks and 1 for a fire alarm, and number of ambulance calls this year. 911 calls were 59, transfers were 56, so a lot of activity there, a great deal more than the past year. So with that, move to reports of mayor, council committees, boards and commissions.
After listening to Steve talk about his recreation out there on the Donahue property, it makes me feel silly about the recreation that I've been asked to do on behalf of the city. So on January 18th, I've been asked by the senior class of Falls High School if I would participate in donkey basketball. And I'm an athlete, so I'm all about this. They do have a weight limit for the donkey. I am over the weight limit, but we're going to get there. I'm 233. I have to get down to 235, or 225. So I have a little bit of work to do, but I'm going to start running, so because I'm an athlete. So I believe the goal was to ask everyone at this table at some point if they would be interested in joining the donkey basketball team to take on the Fort Frances City Council. So if you haven't been contacted yet, there's a high probability you will. January 18th. They have 14.
Part of Icebox Days then? No.
It is. I talked to Sean about it. It is an official Icebox Day event now. I believe it's either 18th, whether it's a Thursday or Friday night, I don't remember. But with that being said,
It's a Wednesday night.
International Falls plays Fort Frances. They have the kids playing the teachers, I believe, and then there's a championship game, and there is no trophy I want more on my wall than a donkey basketball trophy. So if
There's no trophy, what?
I want more on my wall than a donkey basketball trophy. So anyways, that's all I really have, and I'm really excited about donkey basketball because I'm an athlete.
Impressive wall you have.
There's some highlights on that wall, I promise you. I'll take a picture sometime and bring it in.
Sounds like fun.
Should be.
Should be.
Councilor Droba, the students out there are raising money for a
Class trip.
to Washington, D.C. and the East Coast, so that's what they have chosen as one of their activities to help raise money. Further, under reports of council committees, boards, and commissions.
I have a number of things. The Cable Commission met, and I think we passed this at the last council meeting, that we would put our second live feed over at the Bacchus Auditorium. So I would like to request that the administration send a letter to Bacchus informing them that we've acted on that, and that live feed, Mid-Continent needs to be contacted. They need to put it in there at their cost. That was part of the contract negotiations. Further, with the Cable Commission, there are currently no members. have really, I mean, we hardly have met last year. We met very intensely when we were negotiating the contract, but absent business, we don't meet pointlessly, right? So Crystal has resigned from the Charter Commission. We have 4 vacancies. We need to advertise for those. So I would like the ads put out for that. And then I received a complaint regarding a property on 11th Avenue. I think you all got a copy of that for Kelly Myers.
Yes.
We really need to do something there. I don't know what, but we got to. And then I would like the Charter Commission minutes corrected to reflect that I was also present at that meeting. And, well, their minutes are incorrect, so how did we go about correcting them?
It would have to be at the Charter Commission meeting.
All right, I'll go there then. And then, lastly, I was exercising too, but I used the city loop. And the plowing of the city loop should be something we should have on our radar, you know, because people are trying to walk that. I wasn't the only one. There was somebody else when I was out there, and we're being forced to walk in the street on Keenan Drive because the sidewalk there is not available. Neither was the bike trail plowed either that runs along the college and the track. So that is all part of the loop.
There's a number of challenges for the city, and given the amount of snow, and I'm sure that they will be moving towards those, but I think they have priorities.
That's not the top of their priority list. I understand that. I just wanted to, yeah.
And we will add the Cable Commission to the advertisement that goes with the North Cooch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Cable Commission never met until I became a member of the council. So it hasn't, in the past, it has not been an active body. And we became active when we were interested in starting a PEG channel, and then we had to renegotiate a contract. But basically, it's been a rather dormant committee historically.
You're back on the Cable Commission again, so
I am the chair. You know, that doesn't mean that I am married to it, right?
oh, yes.
No. No.
And I'm sure the building inspector and the city attorney are working on the
We are,
11th Avenue issue.
and we've been discussing it for several years, and council may be aware there are some, that particular property owner types of criminal prosecutions that clients 22 situation. My thinking cap on, and I'll have quite a bit of time over the next few weeks to contemplate this situation. So I'm back with my tan to have a solution to that problem.
What a thing to think about when you're on a sunny beach.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Further under boards and commissions, I would just report that as part of the Icebox Days, Chamber Executive has invited me to welcome the Minnesota Twins, who will be here also as part of that kickoff for the Icebox Days, and so we will do that on January the 18th. And then on behalf of Councillor Briggs and myself, we'd like to announce that the Department of Transportation in Washington, D.C., under the FAA, has they've announced that International Falls will be continued to be served by SkyWest with jet service for the next 2 years, February the 1st through 2019, I believe it is. And so that will start then, and so we have 2 more years of jet service, 12 nonstop flights a week.
Congratulations on that.
That's very good.
That, what an improvement. Oh,
Well, the timing's a question, but
well, the buzz
Time will
around
tell
town,
whether-
people are excited about it.
I know most people I've talked to, seem to be pretty happy about that schedule, but
I was pretty happy to read that.
There's been a number of folks who have expressed concern because they miss the morning bank of flights out of the Twin Cities. So, and I don't know if the afternoon bank of flights is comparable to the morning bank. I really don't know the number of flights that go out of MSP in the afternoon versus the morning.
well, there's quite a few.
Probably.
It's if you're going west, you don't have a problem, but going east, somewhat of a problem. You'll end up getting in late. I know for Minneapolis to Atlanta, there's probably 9 flights that, it's late, 8 o'clock in the evening, that gets you into Atlanta around midnight, but JFK, LaGuardia, same thing, but
Do we have a meeting on Monday now regarding, that was the deadline for the applications for this position? Were we meeting separately on that?
I don't know that we've established a
We
date.
haven't established a meeting time? Okay. Well, we should. And then, secondly, I wanted to say, speaking of human resources and issues like that, I know you must all be aware that our current director of the sewer board, of the sewer district has quit, at least not formally, but has stated she's quitting. And so that's 2 directors we've burnt through in a year. Anyway, I think we need to be aware of that.
Further under boards and commissions. All right, do we want to, I know Councilor Briggs, you're going to be leaving, and City Attorney is going to be gone for a period of time also. We want to set a time to applications for Center Ward Councilor is open till January the 9th. Thank you. So that would be next week. When will you
I'll
return?
be back on the Friday the 13th.
Oh, we did discuss this, didn't we? And I thought we had even talked about meeting that Friday, didn't we?
Possible.
Possibility, late, not late, but later in the afternoon. Should be back around noon.
I think, I don't know, Friday evening is a good evening to,
I can do Friday afternoon.
I'm willing to do Friday afternoon.
I think Monday would be the best, but,
Monday?
yeah,
Okay.
Monday,
That's a holiday.
Tuesday. That's a council meeting,
Council
right?
meeting.
That's why Friday was,
and I don't know how many of the folks that have made application would be working during the day. Want to do it after the city council meeting on the 17th?
Works for me.
After the city council meeting? The 17th? So when they close, get with the city administrator and the deputy administrator, and we'll try to schedule those for an evening starting 6 o'clock or something
Right.
I can't make that.
on the 17th?
No, I got a meeting.
Okay, all right. What would be the next best date?
Wednesday?
An evening meeting to accommodate those at work would
How
be
about Wednesday at 6, the very next day?
Wednesday, 18th. That's donkey
Donkey
basketball.
basketball.
Committed.
Yes, you are.
Well, that brings us to Thursday at 6.
Yeah, I think we might.
Friday, but I think the 13th is good.
I think so too, I agree. 6 o'clock, even if you're late, you'll be there.
There's a activity that evening. Police and sheriff are having a together, and so I believe I was invited to that.
Is it open house though? You can come and go? I mean, what time does it start?
You know, I don't know.
I believe it's 6 o'clock that evening.
And how long does it go? Like midnight? Okay, well, if it's an open house and you're going to party, you can,
Yeah, I don't know if it's by invitation or how, but,
well, I didn't get an invitation, so. But what I'm saying
so can we look at the 19th, or,
is like you go late into the evening? Okay, well then you could go later. It's, you don't need to be right there, Johnny, on the spot at 6 o'clock.
maybe you could go later to your one on the 17th then?
That meeting starts at 6.
Let's look at the 19th.
Now, why was there an objection there?
Councilor Droba said that would be during Icebox days.
I'll skip the wing eating contest.
Had very well food, didn't it?
It is after the weigh-in, so maybe we're not.
Well, that's what I'm game on. Let's do this. Let's do the 19th.
6 p.m. the 19th. How many do we have to interview at so far? 5? Yeah, I heard 5-3. Okay, so.
We still have another week for folks to sign up. So we would tentatively set January 19th at 6 p.m. for interviews. Okay? Please.
That you and cell phone or whatever. Molly.
Further to come before the council at this time? Hearing none, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you.